The Closing Time Podcast is back, sponsored by Rocky Hill Accountants. I'm Joe Aguirre. I'll have a brand new co-host, Sanam Salati, who's my broker, my mentor, and my good friend, and one of the most knowledgeable people in Connecticut in the entire real estate industry. We're going to be talking about the latest goings-on. We'll keep you up to date on the market, and we're going to bring on some really great guests all throughout this season, people in all different fields in the industry, like accountants, home inspectors, mortgage reps, and so much more, just to give you a better understanding of the Connecticut real estate market. We're so excited for a brand new season of the Closing Time Podcast, part of the CMG Podcast Network. It's sponsored by Rocky Hill Accountants. Go see Heidi and Glenn Parchman to file your taxes for bookkeeping, business advice, real estate investments, or whatever your accounting needs are, including cryptocurrency. Just visit RockyHillAccountants.com. We'll see you all season long on the Closing Time Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. That is the HHWShow podcast presented by Clovercrest Media. Check out clovercrestmedia.com to know more about all the podcasts that's happening around you. And, of course, you can visit my website, hhwshow.com, for the latest news on pro wrestling and other podcasts such as All Four Downs and Ovi's Backstop Podcast. Today, we have a special guest that is waiting there in the back room there, and he is no other than the rare breed Keith YoungBlood. That's right, and he has a biggest challenge he's going to face this Sunday, and he is part of the Northeast Wrestling. I have my boy Hector. Hector, hey, we've had a brief moment with Keith, man, and I'm feeling it, man, because there's some things that I didn't know about Northeast Wrestling, right? We have like some alumni that they're currently on live television, man. Who you could think of?
Hey, I think about the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, tag team champion on Raw. I mean, who would have thought, what I'm saying? You got to start somewhere, in order to become phenomenal like he is right now.
Right. And then, doing some research, Keith was a tag team with Jerry Lawler. Mm-hmm. I mean, who would have known that, the guy that was announcing WWE Raw actually still wrestling, Right. So it's like, man, these guys had a busy schedule. And I am so pumped up because also I'll be tuning in this weekend and watching firsthand front row to see the Northeast Wrestling that's here in Waterbury, Connecticut. But further ado, I know we don't have Big Jason in the house because he always does the introduction and stuff. So here we go. Ready? Here we go. The rare breed, Keith YoungBlood.
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
Wow. Hey, how you doing, Keith?
I'm doing very, very well. How are you?
I'm all right. Hey, thank you for coming to our show. Hopefully the greeting was what you expected. I mean, I'm not Michael Buff or anything like that, but
it was a phenomenal introduction.
But hey, welcome aboard. I know you got a big match coming up this weekend. But before we even get started with that, we all want to know is who is Keith YoungBlood?
That is a loaded question. How does anybody sum up who they are? That's you're going deep right off the bat. Man, I'm a guy who grew up very much the same to a lot of the people who are wrestling fans. I grew up loving wrestling. I grew up loving superheroes. I grew up loving, the Power Rangers. I was somebody who wanted to be larger than life. And as I got a little bit older and started to learn more about wrestling, it was like, this is something I can do. And not only I can do to become those things, but it's something that I can do to benefit other people. When I was a kid growing up watching wrestling with a family, it's like an escape, right? you're having a bad day, whatever. You sit down with your buddies, you sit down with your family, you start watching wrestling, you're having a good time. You forget about all that stuff, man. It's nothing but a good time. And that's, being able to turn around and do that for other people. That's what drove me to do it. Other than that, I'm a music fan. Love classic rock, hair metal, all that fun stuff. I was always a sports guy. I'm not a statistic guy, but I do love watching sports. I just don't have the mental capacity for that. Probably because I get hit in the head a lot, but who knows? I'm a painter, and I just like hanging out, man. I like having a good time.
All right, a painter. All right, now you say you're a painter as in drawing, like that's a hobby of yours?
Yeah, I actually came up and did some training and schooling to be in automotive collision repair, so painting cars and things of that nature.
Okay.
And then once I got my certification in spray painting, I moved on to doing computer repair, furniture refurbishing, some spray paint like artwork and stuff like that. So it's been a job, it's been a hobby, it's been a passion. It's kind of been all of those things. So
okay. Oh, we already got some comments here already. Steve is saying, "My brother, hope you're well. Let's go Bills." Are you a Bills fan?
I am a Bills fan. I know.
It's a rival here.
Not so much, but you know what? We can accept it.
We're New York, man. We're New York.
Yeah.
We can share the field. It's okay.
Yeah. Hey, they came close in making it to the Super Bowl, right?
We had a phenomenal year. McDermott and Allen kind of being our guys to lead us has been really, really fun. They've been a fun team to watch. And being a Bills fan and seeing so many seasons that weren't fun to watch, this season was very, very, very cool. So I'm hoping for another good one coming up.
Okay.
Keith, let me ask you. You like watching wrestling growing up? Who was your inspiration? Who was that one wrestler that you was like, I have to watch this guy? When he comes on TV or even if maybe live events or whatever.
Yeah, so I always contributed my obsession with wrestling growing up, and what drove me to want to do it was always two guys. It was Chris Jericho and it was Sting. They were the two that grabbed me, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? I need more. So those were my guys.
I could see Chris Jericho because he's the Ayatollah of rock and roller. I get it.
He sure is.
What else I get is that even when we were growing up, we saw, WWE, we saw WCW, even before WCW had the NWA and all that stuff. So all those content that was there. So let me ask you this. Did you try high risk maneuvers when you were young?
Of course. I think everybody did. I don't recommend it. If anybody's listening to this and you are a younger kid, do not do it. It's a very, very bad idea. But yeah, of course, growing up as a kid, the couch cushions would go on the floor, and that was adequate. And me and my brothers would, yeah.
Well, I didn't do that. I learned the hard way. No, I was jumping off of bunk beds, and one time I missed the mattress and hit the side, and then I got my butt whooping from my mom for actually doing it. So that was double whammy for me. So don't try it at home. Please don't try it at home.
No, please don't. Hearing your story, I'm having flashbacks. So I gotta.
And it's always fun when you have siblings that you could do it too. That's the best part.
Well, you see, I was the youngest, so I was usually the test dummy.
Okay.
Hey, you saw that move, right? Let's try it. Boom. Well,
my brother used to do the figure four on me, man.
Yeah.
It does hurt. It does hurt. So what is your favorite move? What's your signature move?
I've got a few. So I've actually got a pretty fun story. When I came up as part of Adrenaline Rush in my original tag team alongside Daniel Evans, we had been toying with a couple of tag team finishes. We were still early in our time as a tag team. We were trying to figure some stuff out, and we were doing a Wrestling Under the Stars event for Northeast Wrestling at Niles, Ohio. It was one of the biggest shows we had been on as a tag team. And Ricky Steamboat was at the show doing a signing. He was going to make an appearance. We met Ricky, talked with him a little bit. He found out my last name was YoungBlood and took a liking to us. And he started chatting with us a little bit. And apparently, I didn't know about the move. I had forgotten about the move. Him and Jay YoungBlood had a tag move where Jay would hold the guy in a full Nelson. Ricky would go up top for the high cross. As Ricky came off, he'd bail on the full Nelson, hit the high cross for the finish. And we kind of looked at each other and we looked at Ricky and we were like, well, we're kind of looking for something. And he goes, take it. So he gifted us that finish as a tag team. And ever since then, I've actually seen him a few times after that. And he kind of gave me his blessing to continue to use the high cross body. So the Ricky Steamboat high cross is a move that's won me many matches. I also use the Texas Cloverleaf. For whatever reason, that was a submission hold that I always thought was really underrated. The amount of pressure it puts on your knee as well as your lower back can really immobilize a guy. And I take a lot of pride in the fact that I feel like I've worked that hold into something that is very, very challenging to get out of, which is why I've named it the Hotel California, because you can tap out anytime you'd like, but you can never leave.
I don't want to try it. No.
No, that don't sound very promising. No.
No.
I like that.
I mean, the name itself is like, no. You got a move that's called under the bed or something like that. Like crawling in a position now. So Adrenaline Rush, you're a 3-time tag team champion, right?
Yes,
and one of them I was caught surprise is no other than the Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. How was that working for you? Like, how did that happen?
It's so surreal to even, like, for me to think back about the time that we did get to work together. There's a guy by the name of Brian Anthony. He thinks he's a king, actually believes he's a king. I'm not sure. The dude's not straight in the head, but he was running around with his court, his royal court, and running roughshod on Northeast Wrestling, interfering in matches, jumping guys, beating people down. And he actually convinced my tag team partner from Adrenaline Rush, Daniel Evans, to turn on me, and they stole the Northeast Wrestling Tag Team Championships away from me. So I had some serious heat with Brian, and now with my ex-partner Dan, who was like a brother to me. All of a sudden, this dude's on the other side, took the titles away from us. He's calling himself, a 4-time champion, 3-time champion, whatever it was at the time. And I needed to even the odds. I was down on numbers and I needed somebody, and I saw Jerry at one of the events. He and I got to talking. Him and Brian had a bit of a checkered past themselves, and he did not take kindly to Brian calling himself the king of professional wrestling. So we had a common enemy, and we teamed up and decided we were going to liberate the tag team championships and liberate the crown at the same time. And we did. We actually did that in the building I grew up watching Northeast Wrestling in, was the Danbury PAL. So going from watching Jerry Lawler wrestle for Northeast to winning tag team titles with him in the same building was pretty special.
That's special indeed, man. That's. I mean, look, you've been surrounded by a lot of professional wrestlers that have moved up to the WWE and AEW, and for the short amount of time you've been at, if I'm not mistaken, you've been wrestling since 2015. Am I correct?
Yes,
so. I mean, look, you're going for a championship this weekend. I'm assuming that you're fast tracking for bigger and better things for you.
I mean, that's the plan, right? Onward and upward is always the trajectory you want to have. But yeah, I'm somebody who I don't really focus on time frames too much. I don't put a lot of stock in wait your turn and whatever. If it's something you want, you work as hard as you possibly can to go get it. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been paying off. So, 3-time tag champ, like you said, now number 1 contender for the heavyweight championship, and now also wrestling for the live title this Sunday because Dan Moff's afraid of me, no matter how much he wants to say he isn't. It's just, you got to do what you got to do, right? You want these championships. We got to do it, man. We got to do it.
Speaking about that, your match, the pandemic hit, things got shut down. How were you able to stay fit and be ready for this moment right now?
It was definitely challenging, especially at the very beginning. Just kind of not knowing, is this going to be a week? Is this going to be a month? Is this, it was so uncertain when everything first happened. Gyms shut down, so there was no chance of that. So you had to kind of find ways to make things work. For a while I was out, chopping trees down with an axe, going Rocky IV on the woods behind my house just to try to figure something out. But yeah, I ended up investing in some workout equipment and an outdoor kind of universal thing that I could just stick in the driveway and just start cranking stuff out. And it's been, like I said, just trying to figure out anything. I actually implemented a lot of boxing workouts since I didn't have the free weights and all that stuff, or even the machines. A lot of boxing cardio to try to keep that ring wind. And thank God I did, because I think it's gonna help me out a lot this Sunday.
So when you're getting ready for stuff like a match like this, you talked about music and everything. It's like, what's your go-to group? Is there like a certain type of a group that you love, a certain type of music that gets you going, gets you in that mood to get ready for something like this?
Yeah, I'm really eclectic with my music taste. I listen to a little bit of everything for the most part. My go-to is generally some version of rock, whether it's a hair metal, a classic rock, a harder rock. I come out to Nothing But a Good Time by Poison. So, Poison's a big one. Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Twisted Sister. And then there's, newer bands who do kind of have the same heart and soul of those bands, like Heat. I listen to them a lot. But then also a little bit of the harder rock side, Demon Hunter, A Day to Remember, Breaking Benjamin, those bands too. So,
because I could find myself, getting, when I get into that groove too, I go to like Metallica or System of a Down, or things like that, So you have that go to, and you got a big match to get ready for this Sunday, so you have to be prepared any way you can, right? Physically, mentally.
Absolutely, mentally is just as important as the physical, man. If you don't have it here, nothing else is gonna follow.
Exactly. I got to put some pictures up real quick. I meant to put them up while you were discussing about Jerry Lawler. So there's this you right here, tag team champions. And again,
that is right after the match where we won the titles at the Danbury Pal.
All right. Now, look, Jerry Lawler had a busy schedule during that time. I mean, was he always around with you? You guys trained together, or did he went there, then had to rush back to WWE? I mean, how did that work?
Yeah, I mean, he was with us for pretty much every show for like a full summer. When he came in, that was one thing I was a little concerned about, was his schedule. I mean, the dude runs and owns his own restaurants, and not to mention the WWE schedule, and then also taking some bookings. I know he does a lot of appearances at like baseball and basketball games up in Tennessee and stuff like that. So I was a little concerned about that myself. We didn't get to train together in person too much, but we did talk quite frequently, kind of go over notes on matches, things like that. Just trying to pick his brain and learn from him, being Jerry Lawler. If you didn't try to do that,
right,
you're wasting your time. The guy's a wealth of knowledge, and he was gracious enough to share a lot of that with me. So we stayed in touch, and every time we had a match or a show, he was there. And like I said, we defended those titles for a full summer.
That must be a lot of trust between the both of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got along really well, and it was kind of a cool meshing of, old school cool and new school tools. You know what I'm saying? All
right.
Is there any advice that you can share with us that he might have given you, that help you, accelerate, excel your career in wrestling?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing I picked up from Jerry, and it wasn't even necessarily something he directly told me, but it was more so what he showed me in the ring, and how he approached professional wrestling. At his age, he would still come in, and the passion and the fire and the determination was still there, and it was more so than even some guys you see regularly on these shows. And to see him still love it that much and still care so much to come back and want to be a Northeast Wrestling Tag Team Champion. I mean, I think that says so much about Northeast and what their championships mean. For Jerry Lawler at this point in his career, he holds the record for the most championship reigns in professional wrestling. When we won the tag titles, I think it was his 172nd championship of his career. And that dude still wanted to win those titles. He still wanted to come back. When you saw that guy lace up a pair of boots, you wanted to fucking lace up. Oh, pardon my mouth. You wanted to lace up those boots and get in and go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting fired up talking about it. So it's just one of those things.
Go ahead, Hector. I know you got some more coming.
Oh no, I thought you was going to say something. That's why I was going to let you go ahead. I mean, but that's all.
You're good.
That's awesome. I mean, when you get to work with a legend like that, that can help accelerate, where you're at, just to take what you're going at and just building it up to the next level, And like you say, it's so much, it's like action speaks louder than words, and that's what it sounds like. What Jerry the King Lawler was doing here with you, so much. Let me show you than what I can tell you, because I could tell you all day, but if we don't go ahead and show it, then what good is me telling you what, let me just, and so I think, that's pretty good. And that could be with anything that we deal with in life, when we have someone like that, in our lives that we can pick their brain at, hey, show me, I want to learn. I want to try to get to where you're at. And, that's
100%.
awesome,
Absolutely.
So now you got a match this Sunday, but you're not the only one. So if you could be able to walk us through on what we're going to see this Sunday. And let me put this up real quick, because again, it's this Sunday, June 27th at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is going to be the Waterbury Pal. That's right, Waterbury, Connecticut, and featuring Brad Hollister versus Keith Youngblood for the New Live Championship. And here you go, right here. Now I want the dirtiness, because you talk about Brad Hollister's afraid of you, right? So let's get that scoop now. What's going on? How did this match come together right now? Like, what happened? Are you the number one contender, or did you guys have beef? What's going on here?
Yeah, so actually Dan Moff, Ring of Honor star, is the one who I say was afraid of me. He's our heavyweight champion right now. And dude's a silverback. He's an animal. He's a monster. We had our championship match, and he couldn't beat me, and he ran, and he got himself DQ'd. And he's still running. He had two shows he was supposed to defend the heavyweight championship against me, and conveniently he hasn't been there, this being one of them. So I spoke with Northeast Wrestling management. I said, look, I promised my fans, I promised my family, I was going to leave the first Northeast Wrestling show back as a champion. Moff's not going to be there. You need to give me Brad. So Brad's somebody who recently has found an edge. If you head over to the High Spots Wrestling Network, you can watch the Northeast Wrestling Studio Wars TV tapings they were doing over during the last few months of the pandemic. Brad found an edge, and he found a mean streak, and it's working for him. The dude is an animal. He's got a crazy amateur background. He's a former heavyweight champion in Northeast himself. He actually defeated Christian Casanova, who is now in NXT as Carmelo Hayes, to win that live championship. But now I'm going to have to take it, because I made a promise, and I'm going to keep my promise. And this Sunday is going to be the start of the Rare Breed Championship Tour.
Okay. Steve has made another comment. Taven and YoungBlood with a bunch of questions about, I'm off that day. What's up with that?
Yes, Ring of Honor star Matt Taven is going to be making a special appearance at the show on Sunday. He'll be there doing a signing and a meet and greet for all the fans. Taven is somebody who has given so much to Northeast Wrestling. He's a former Northeast Wrestling heavyweight champion himself, and he's been at a lot of the shows, pretty much every show, and he's there helping out and looking after guys, and he's somebody I've trained with. I have a great deal of respect and admiration for Matt Taven, and it's going to be good to have him back.
Okay, so we got that, but after this Sunday, is there anyone that you are want to match up? What is your dream opponent that you want to match in the middle of the ring? Anyone, doesn't have to be anybody from Northeast, anyone in particular.
Yeah, that's always such a big question, man, especially, there's so many incredible wrestlers especially if you just go from any time period. It's so hard to narrow it down, because I said those guys that were my guys who pulled me in were both Sting and Jericho. Clearly I would love to get in a ring with either one of those guys, and I think that would be a dream come true, a very full circle moment. But there's tons of guys, man. Matt Taven, we were just speaking of Matt Taven. I would love to get in the ring and mix it up with him. Guys like Adam Page, Christopher Daniels. I think Darby Allin would be fun. I got my eyes on New Japan all the time. Guys like Hiroshi Tanahashi or Tama Tonga. I would love to mix it up with Tama. I think that would be an incredible match. I've always wanted to have a singles match with Nick Jackson. I don't know what it is about his style, but I think he would be really fun to work with. Scorpio Sky is another one. There's so many guys, man. So many.
All right. So you're familiar with the other match cards that's happening that day on Sunday?
Yes. Let's see.
All right, so we got a new tag team championship, which is Insanely Rude versus the Graysons. So what'd you tell us about them?
Yeah, so Insanely Rude came in and kind of started getting their shake, and the Graysons were around a little bit longer, but Insanely Rude came in as a tag team in Northeast around the time that Dan and I, as Adrenaline Rush, were tag team champions. And we ended up working some like 8-man tags with them over the summers and stuff like that. And they're good kids. They're very, very talented. And they found their groove, and they managed to capture the Northeast Tag Team Championships for themselves. And I think that's really cool. It was so much fun to watch them kind of grow into their own shoes and find their way. The Graysons are kind of a sleeper team. They've been around the Northeast for quite some time. They've been in and out. I think finding, I guess you could call it leadership with Jared. I don't know. The dude's he's like this tall. He's for another story. Jared's a problem. But,
okay, so we see that the Graysons are the heel here, and he's trying to get all the credit. Jared's trying to get all the credit, huh?
Yeah, man, he likes to throw his money around, but whatever works for the Graysons, it got him a title shot, right?
No, that don't work. He ain't Ted DiBiase.
Well, look at him. That suit cost him $12 off the clearance rack at Target.
Oh man, I thought they gave him a donation or something, man. Look at that fake jewelry. No, stop.
That's his thing. Right. He's got that green. He's got that green mark around his neck after he wears that stuff. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. We were all, well, me being a young bug, I try to be like Flavor Flav with the dollar sign. And then it got green, and then my boy goes and he cracks the dollar sign. It was nothing but lead. So I was disappointed. I'm like 15 at the time. I mean, come on. Waves and Curls versus the Club Cam.
Yeah, Waves and Curls, man. They know how to have fun. I think that's the best way to describe these dudes. They were just on AEW Dark. You can check them out on YouTube. Two young kids, really, really passionate. I met Trayvon when he was still working, meet and greet tables and stuff, trying to get a shake. And like I said, they're both really good kids, very, very talented. They're students of Matt Taven's. And they're finding their way, very much like I was talking about with Insanely Rude, how it was fun to see them find it and then capture the tag titles. Waves and Curls are still in that early stage where they're finding that groove, and they're starting to really find it. So they're a really fun team to watch. Definitely somebody to keep an eye on. Tony Vega with Cam is a relatively new tag team. I'm not super familiar with Vega. I am very familiar with Cam Zagami. He and Robbie E, who is now Robert Stone over in NXT, were actually one of Adrenaline Rush's biggest rivals. They stole the tag titles from us at WrestleFest one year. They ran from us, and we were supposed to have a cage match. That got canceled. Ended up being a Texas Tornado street fight, and that's how Dan and I won our second tag titles. So Cam's a little goofy looking, but when he finds his mean streak and he gets it in there where he needs to, he's a tough opponent. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out. A lot of young talent.
I think Nikki Duke, if that's her name, I think she's going to be a big distraction for the Waves and Curls. So I don't think they're going to be celebrating too much over there.
Yeah, she'll definitely be the wild card in this match.
We got Hale Collins versus the Ring of Honor star Dutch.
I'm excited for this one. Hale Collins is a Northeast Wrestling veteran. He's been around for a very, very long time. He was part of a tag team, The Now, along his tag partner Vic Delicious. Vic suffered a really terrible leg injury in a ladder match, actually in the ladder match where Dan and I won our first tag team championships. And Hale kind of had to carve his own path as a singles. He's a guy, like I said, he's a veteran in Northeast. He's done it all, and he knows what he's doing. And both of these guys have some pretty aggressive in-ring styles. Both big dudes. Dutch, very clearly the larger competitor. And ever since he hooked up with Vinny Marcello over at Ring of Honor, somehow seems to have gotten meaner, which is not a good sign for people across the ring from him. So this will be hard hitting. This will be something to keep an eye on for sure. I think this match is going to be something to watch.
Dutch looked like he's almost like 7 feet tall. Am I right? Or
he's a big dude.
Yeah,
he's a big dude. I'm 6'3", and I kind of feel like, Like he's
a guy
dude.
not to mess with, right?
Yeah. I'll do it if I have to, but if I can avoid it, I probably would.
All right. So meet and greet with Matt Taven. He's gonna be there, but he's not wrestling, right?
No, he will not be in ring. As far as I know, he will not be in ring. But yes, he'll be doing a meet and greet, seeing all the fans, and Matt's always a lot of fun to have around. So,
all right. Now, for the meet and greet, I'm assuming that's taking place before 3:00. Am I right?
Yes, doors are at 2.
Okay.
Bell time is 3. And these graphics are okay. Yeah, that was an old graphic, but yes, it's at the Waterbury Pal.
Okay. Tina San Antonio versus Megan Bain. I'm gonna assume Tina's from Texas. Just the San Antonio name there, maybe, I don't know. But I'm like it. I like it. You got females also involved in Northeast wrestling.
Yeah, there's always been a pretty cool women's division in Northeast. It's something that I think kind of sets us apart from a lot of the stuff you'll see on, the independent scene. Northeast wrestling is always kind of one step ahead, and I think the stuff that they've done with the women's division has been really, really fun. These ladies are both newcomers to Northeast wrestling. This will be both of their debuts, I believe. I've seen a little bit of Megan. I believe she did some AEW Dark as well. But I'm excited to see these ladies in action, see what they're going to bring to the table for Northeast.
Okay. And then Wrecking Ball, Legursky versus Mucho Chris Mojo. Now, I don't know what the mucho is. Mucho that's in Spanish for a lot. So what does he got? What is a lot that he has to offer?
Judging by his last name, Mojo, I guess. I'm not entirely sure.
He lost his mojo.
No, a relative newcomer to Northeast wrestling is Mojo. I've seen him around, seen him do some stuff in other independents. He's got a good size. He moves well for his size. I think he's got a lot of potential, and we'll see what he can do in Northeast. He's got a tough opponent in Wrecking Ball, somebody who's a former Northeast wrestling heavyweight champion himself. Has gone to war with Jack Swagger and Jake Hager now, and Dan Moth, and pretty much anybody who's anybody in Northeast Wrecking Ball has gone up against. So this will be a test for Chris.
Wow, a big test indeed. But I'm gonna put my money on Legursky. What about you, Hector?
Yeah, with a name like Wrecking Ball. Yeah, I think Mucho is gonna get Mucho Wrecking Ball.
You might as well call him Chris because that mojo's gone, bro.
We're gonna find out. You got to come to the Waterbury Pal.
Oh, I'm there. Trust me. Christopher Battle versus Channing Thomas with Jared Silvercleat, right?
I
hope that's like that.
Silvercleat. I call him Silver Spoon because he walks around. He's had everything handed to him his whole life. So
is he another 4 feet tall guy or what's going on?
That's the same dude.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
yeah. He's just got on a $20 Amazon suit instead of a $14 Target one.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Jared. I'm gonna know his name, man. Wow. I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. As far as the match goes, Channing Thomas, another young guy who's just kind of started to come into Northeast wrestling. You can see him kind of breaking in through the Studio Wars TV tapings I mentioned on the High Spots Network. Shows a lot of promise. Again, aligning yourself with Jared, probably not the best career move, but if it's going to work for him, we get his foot in the door. To each their own. Chris Battle, another long-time Northeast mainstay, somebody who I've teamed with, who I've wrestled against. I have a lot of respect for Chris. I think he's an incredibly underrated talent. I think he's somebody who moves like he shouldn't be able to move. He hits very impactful maneuvers. His spear is intense. I think Chris is somebody, if you're looking for somebody to get into and kind of become a fan of and check out their stuff, I think Chris Battle is one of those guys who you got to keep your eye on.
All right. I can't wait to see him. Can't wait. We got Thrill Ride versus Mike Verna. And there goes Jared again. Good Lord. Is this all about Jared? I mean, come on.
He somehow found a way to plaster his face on every piece of media he can. Again, he must be throwing that trust fund money around. But so, yeah, that's his deal, man. He tries to get as many guys in under his payday as he can. And Mike Verna is somebody I have a lot of respect for, man. Or I don't know, with aligning with Jared, I don't know what his deal is, but he's clearly had a change of heart, and we're going to see how that works out for him in the ring. Cause Phil Ride is, again, a very long-term Northeast wrestling guy. Has been around, done it all, tag champ. He's somebody who I think is found kind of rekindled his passion as of late. I think he's red hot in here, and he's looking to kind of make that run really count. So we'll see how Jared comes into play with Verna, and how Verna's new approach to his in-ring game is going to go, and see if it can match Phil Rad's heart.
Hey, Hector, don't Phil Ride look like Jeff Jarrett?
It does look like him, yeah. It looks like Keith, so after you win the title on Sunday, I mean, is Jared going to try to sneak in and try to get you on his side? I mean,
I think Jared probably knows that's a waste of time. We've had our run-ins in the past. I've beaten up a few of his assets. And, I think he's kind of realized that throwing money at anybody and everybody probably isn't the best way. He's got some good guys under his payday right now, but I think lining yourself with Jared is a dead end, man. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, he's got a lot of promising young talent. He's got Verna there now. Maybe he's figured it out, but I mean, I got no problem knocking him around again. So I'm not worried about it.
That's cool. So the name Rare Breed, where did that come from? Because I mean, I've never heard that as a nickname with any wrestler, and I mean, I think that's awesome that you have that unique nickname. That in-ring name that nobody else has.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, that's something that is very hard to find with how many wrestlers there are and how long wrestling's been around. Excuse me. Yeah, the Rare Breed name kind of stemmed from when I was younger and I broke into wrestling in 2015. I was very, very lean, to say the least. I probably weighed 160 pounds when I started. I'm up to 210 now. But I think I was always the high flyer of Adrenaline Rush. Dan was the power guy. I was the high flying guy. And as I got older and more into my career and I started to grow and put on size and just grow as an athlete overall, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't the high flyer. I wanted to be more well-rounded. I wanted to be somebody who could fly at 6'3", 210, but also have the power of a guy who's 6'3", 210, but also have the ground game. You know what I'm saying? So like I wanted to be able to do everything and I wanted to cover my weaknesses as much as I could. So if I got in the ring with a bigger guy, I wanted to have the speed advantage. If I got in the ring with a smaller guy, I wanted to have the power advantage. I never wanted to be stagnant. I never wanted to have too big a hole in my defense or my offense. So as I started to grow and learn and become a more rounded wrestler and athlete, I was like, okay, well, there's not a lot of guys my size who can do all of these things. I guess I'm a rare breed. So that is where the rare breed of professional wrestling came from.
That's awesome, because when you get in that ring, you got to know how to, take on that opponent no matter what size they are, because you're going to wrestle guys bigger than you and smaller than you. So you're right. You got to be able to know how to deal with all aspects of it when you're in the ring and not stay stagnant.
And that's where
that's why you're going to be the champ after Sunday. So yeah,
absolutely. That's where the high cross and the cloverleaf came into play. You got the ground, you got the submission, but you also have the high flying. If you're in there with a wrecking ball, that high cross might not work. But if you can get grounded and you can take out that leg, now you got the advantage.
Now, there's no stipulation in this match, right? This is a straight up one-on-one singles match for the title.
Yes, sir.
Man, if he decides to get himself disqualified, you got to tag me in, man. I go chase him down in the back room and get him back in the ring.
Hey, man, that's
we're
good
gonna
to
reset
know.
And do another match.
It's good to know you're gonna be there. I might take you up on that. After Dan Ruff running away.
You see this shirt, you know it's me. I won't be waiting.
There you go.
Oh man. Before, hold on. I don't want to end this. I got another clip. I should have done that at the beginning, but that's all right, man. But here's a quick clip. There's some of the moves you did. And your YouTube channel, because you also have a YouTube channel. So everybody, hey, Keith YoungBlood has a YouTube channel. Subscribe to his channel. But there's a little clip, and I got some pictures that I want to share. Here we go. And so, hey, Keith, thank you so much. But this is a tradition that we do, and you are going to have the last word. So any messages that you want for our audience and everyone tuning in, I see the numbers are increasing here. And I would like to say thank you, everyone, for watching the HHW show. Please subscribe to this channel. Also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. But you have the last floor. Any message you want to say for those that are trying to get into the business, or anything, any thoughts that come to mind that you want to reach out to the audience? By all means, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, thank you to every single one of my fans who have stuck with me and supported me, especially through the last 15 months. They've been very, very challenging for everybody and very uncertain. And now with Resurgence, Northeast Wrestling this Sunday at the Waterbury Pal, we're going to have a resurgence. It is the return of the rare breed, it is the return of Northeast Wrestling. And I'm going to walk out a champion because that was the promise I made to you guys. As far as anybody trying to get into wrestling, keep your head high, keep your heart full, keep that passion driving, and most importantly, find an accredited wrestling school, somewhere where the trainer is or has done it on a highly professional televised level. Make sure you're not throwing your money at somebody who's not going to take care of you. Other than that, come on down to Northeast Wrestling this Sunday, watch me take the live championship, and then stick with me and watch me take the heavyweight championship.
Well, thank you again, Keith, for coming on board. Any other questions, Hector?
No, I'm excited to hear the good news. I know Ovi's going to let me know. He's going to text me, send me pictures saying,
"Oh, pictures! We're going to have a video, and it's going to be him holding the title."
That's what I want to see. That's what I'm
Keith,
looking for.
You got to be on top of the buckle, all right? And I know, like Randy Orton has that little pose. I want you with a pose like this with the belt in the air. All right?
Got it,
yeah, take that and strung it, baby.
He's got it. He's got it. He already knows.
String that title.
And most definitely, because next week I'm gonna do a recap of what happened in Northeast. I'm telling you. So, hey, good luck this Sunday. I can't wait. And for all the rest, hey, tune in next week as we get set for the road to Money in the Bank, and plus more and more gossip. I mean, things are getting hot, man. It's summertime. It's summertime. That's right. So thank you again. See you next week.